Lights, camera, action.
Welcome to the Requel Pitch or Requel podcast. I'm your host, Tyler. How's everybody doing? Good. So tonight's pitch, I've kind of talked about off and on in my other podcast, the Krypton Report. But as of this recording, now you guys won't hear this until the movie comes out, but as of this recording, the trailer for Todd Phillips' Joker Folie à Deux has been released. And I was like, you know what, I never pitched this. And this isn't what I would do with the property, per se. This is a pitch about the universe as a whole. Now, I've talked a lot about how I feel like Todd Phillips' Joker isn't really truly a Joker story. That it was a movie about mental health, about a crazy guy, Arthur. And then they're like, well, if we call it Joker, we'll get all that DC fandom built in. And we can kind of, if they had released this as anything else, like they named it like the Clown with Joaquin Phoenix, it would have got all the accolades. But I don't think it would have done what it did by not playing off the Joker. I mean, even his design is not like the Joker of the comics. His backstory, there's no Batman, but there's just enough Gotham sprinkled in to places, names, and stuff like that to make it feel like it's in this world, but it has no connection with anything else DC related. Todd Phillips has even come out and said that he will never be the clown prince of crime. This isn't him, that this maybe is someone that inspires the Joker. So to me, that's just like saying, haha, we fooled you. We got all your money on something that doesn't really matter in the world. Now, that's not to say that it's not a good film, because it is a good film. And if you are a part of our Patreon for Krypton Report, we will be doing here in October, we will be dropping our commentary track for Joker. The Joker. So yes, there's another thing is like I played on top before. Is like there's Joker and then the Joker. What's the difference? Batman, the Batman. Anyways, the Joker is one of my wife's favorite characters, favorite villain, and mine is Two-Face. So my pitch to you tonight is Dent. It's set in the same type of reality and world that the Joker is, where we don't have to have Batman, we don't have to do this, but we're exploring the character of Harvey Dent. And I think a lot of versions of Harvey Dent try to do this thing where Two-Face has multiple personalities, where Two-Face, we have the big bad Harv comes up, or it's from this childhood trauma, and but I think that where they fail on Two-Face is by giving him complete alternate personalities and then having him flip a coin, but for doing bad things. I think what you have to do, and I think Scott Snyder's done this in some of his writing, is you have to include him doing good things. He has to be a hero to some and a villain to others. He has to be a man so torn that he doesn't know what he's doing, because the question is choice. What Two-Face should be, and my pitch of how to do the story, okay, is you have a morally ambiguous attorney, young, coming up from Gotham, grew up on the poorer side, but he's very intelligent, comes up and, is a hotshot attorney who will, take any case. And he's thinking about running for district attorney because it would look good for him. Like, he's all about the image, playing the political game, playing people, basically. He would even have two girlfriends, one that he's kind of going, and he kind of keeps on at bay. He's a player, but he's also a very lovable guy, and that's the trick. And what I would say is, Two-Face, our character of Harvey Dent, never really makes a choice in the sense of he's always like, I can argue it both ways. He's very much down the middle, where he sees both sides of arguments where he can see how one person's right. And what happens is he goes through his tragic incident, but his brain is fractured in the point where accelerating what he kind of already had going, he loses his ability to make a choice. He cannot choose. And that's the difference. That's where we go with this day. It's a person unraveling who's lost the fundamental element of choice. Something that we all do without thinking, to where everything he's down to is to the coin for justice, for truth. He's lost his ability to choose. So he, instead of having someone guide him, or, in some instances where we have somebody, help Harvey, or Two-Face, he's got the multiple personalities, which I think would conflict more and more. Well, we have a guy who exists in such a gray area that he never chooses. He has to have someone make the choice for him. And there would be scenes of that as in the beginning of with his girlfriend, Grace. We would do Grace, and we would do the girl that I'm drawing a blank of because it's late from a long Halloween, so please forgive me because my brain just went kaput on me. Crap. Yeah, it's been a long week for me. I'm not going to go into it, but that is the story, okay? So now we have the two girls, right? Gilda. See, I knew it would come to me. Gilda. So now we have the two girls, and what we see scenes where we're like, hey, where you want to go to dinner? He's like, I don't know, baby, you pick. Oh, what movie you want to see? Whatever you're in the mood for. Things that we say and we do that we don't really think about, but the idea is we're setting the stage that he's not choosing because he can't. And it's simple stuff like that we take for granted, that we just, when Janine and I will go out, I'll be like, okay, whatever you want to eat, because I know that I'm easy and I know that she's more picky and I can just adapt. Okay? But in this case, it's sowing the seeds that we're taking Harvey to where when he has his Two-Face incident, his mind can no longer make choices. And thus he becomes like I said, a hero and a villain. Because we would show acts of Two-Face doing good. Where he would, rob from the rich, give to the poor. Or pull a heist and give them money. And there's been incidents in the comics, but I don't think it's really been focused on as much recently. And we'd have him actually stop other villains, but then sometimes join the other villains, to where he's such a loose cannon that the villains don't even trust him. He can't even trust himself. And it's a character study of a person breaking down and fundamentally losing one of free will. So that would be my pitch for Dent. That would be set in the Todd Phillips Joker universe. Check me out, Requel, Krypton Report. See some of the guests that we've had on there. Until next time, everybody.